Okay, let's see. We're waiting for people connecting. Hey, everyone. How are we doing? All right. Hey, everyone. I hope everyone is joining in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Going to give you an opportunity to connect and join in. Welcome, welcome. This is Dr. Yam, your Keep It Simple coach. We're going to get started right away. Hold on. Here we go. All right. And we are also connected. So I want to welcome everyone to our new session, and we're going to get everybody initiated in just 1 second. I just want to double check everything before we hit the go button. But while you're doing that, please introduce yourselves for those of you who are able to. Some of you may be driving, and if you are, you're just audioing today, no problem whatsoever. Just know that you'll have access to the videos during the course of the session, and only those who purchase the bundle are going to have access to it after all of the 7 sessions in perpetuity. So just know that you have access to the recorded sessions for a limited time. And if you want access to it beyond that, then you have the ability to do so. So we're going to let people join in and make sure that everybody can, that we're not experiencing any challenges or problems. And then we're going to get started. I want to just double check my one other piece here, and then we're going to be good to go. And let me just also, there we go. I'm going to make sure that our share screen is working okay, and then we should be in operating mode. So I just want to just do a quick, I don't want to hide me. There we go. And we're going to be in slide deck mode here right quick. And there we go. And we're going to do that. And we are going to be here in play mode. So we'll see how this is going to work for you guys. Alrighty, let's see what we got here on our side. Should be a little bit on the delay, so just give me 1 second. I just want to make sure everyone is going to be able to access what they need to access, and I'll edit out this part. So, all right, I think, yeah. All right, so we're able to see what we needed to see, so we're good there. Take on my albums. There we go. All right. So again, I want to introduce myself. Thank you, everyone, and welcome for our one way and our first day of our 7 ways to leverage your Facebook Live video. I am just honored that you have taken the time out of a very busy schedule that I know each and every one of you has, and that you're making time to invest in yourself. So again, welcome to today's Day 1, Way 1 of our boot camp, 7 ways to leverage your Facebook video content. So in this boot camp, we're going to be going and taking a closer look at Facebook Live videos, the impact that live streaming has on our everyday lives as business owners. And then we're not just going to talk about live streaming and, the things that it can do, but most importantly, most of all, what we're really going to be focusing in on is how can we get to have more people see your content by leveraging video content you've already invested in, and the best way that you can do that with that live streaming. Now, I'll say video live stream content, it can apply to any other video content that you may have. If you're doing Reels on Instagram, if you're doing inside of Twitter, if you're doing even YouTube and working backwards in the shorts, any of those will apply as far as that works. So just know that when we think about it, but I'll always be in the context of Facebook Live videos because that's mostly a lot of the content that I happen to develop in as well. So a little bit about me. So again, remember the purpose for today is how you can grow your content. Work smarter and not harder. So for those of you who do not know me, I am Yamilet Williams, aka Dr. Yam, and I help new solopreneurs, freelancers, and coaches use content marketing methods and strategies to grow themselves and their business using those methodologies. So it's really important to understand that there's opportunities where you can leverage what we call content marketing methods in your business that a lot of people just aren't aware of. And that's one of the reasons why I do what I do, because I've been there before. I've had the struggles, and the things that I'm showing you over the next 7 days are the things that I've gotten much better at. And I love to share information of the things that I know work and how they can help you to grow your business and leverage the things that you're currently doing. And there are other reasons why I really stepped into this space as a coach, working not only with people who are new to starting their business, but also those who are aspiring in starting their business. I have a group that are the busy 9-to-5ers, and there in that particular space is where I help full-time employees make their escape routes and get out of their space and into their lane as solopreneurs, freelancers, and coaches in a way in which that works best for them. So I help in making those transitions possible as well. So again, I just want you to know that wherever you are in your pursuit of running your business, I applaud you. And I'm sure that in many cases, I've been where you've been, and the way that you're able to invest the time and explore and figure out the things that are going to be necessary for you to help run your business are going to be really important. So today is one of those days. So we're going to get to that. So by now, what you probably already know, and let me just double check one other thing. So this is the bad thing about sharing my screen is that I can't see the other stuff. So give me 1 second here. I don't think I can. Yeah, I can't. I gotta bounce back out. So I don't want to miss anybody inside of the group itself. So let me just make sure people are able to log in. Alrighty, I see live. Okay, we're good there. And people, hey, okay, so I see, yeah. So welcome as well. So good, I just want to make sure everybody I can see. Stop sharing. Okay, so we're good there. Let me go back on to our space. There we go. So we'll plug back in. Thank you guys for their patience with respect to that. And let me bring it over here. All righty. So again, if you haven't already done so, introduce yourself. Welcome to those who are just joining and those who are going to be watching this in a recorded version, because I know some of you are only joining audio, so which is perfectly fine. And just listen in real close. And again, you'll have access to listen to watching the videos a little later, so no problem there. So by now you probably have seen hundreds, if not thousands, right, of Facebook videos. And sometimes you watch and sometimes you don't. And then you may have seen even other business owners utilizing Facebook Live, and you've seen some really good results that they are receiving in maybe revenues and generating leads or just growing their audiences. And all of those are possible. And you may have even asked yourself, how do I leverage the Facebook Live videos that you have of your own business that you may have been doing already? And how is it that I can optimize that so that I can multiply, maybe even double, my reach in some ways, and the ability to record those Facebook Live videos and download them, and opens up a door for a lot of multiple opportunities that you're going to be able to come using that video content for your business. And again, when I think about working and starting a business, and we have so many things going on as I'm running a consulting firm, as well as supporting a Facebook group or two, and doing coaching and consulting. So there's a lot of moving parts, and you want to be able to work smarter, not harder. But most importantly, one of the things that I go by is the fact that it's just because you're working by yourself or for yourself doesn't mean you have to work by yourself. Being able to reach out to colleagues, to other experts. We all are experts in our fields, and we want to lean into that. But at the same time, we need to recognize that there are opportunities where we can learn and grow ourselves and tap into resources such as this. So again, I want to applaud you for doing that. So one of the things when we talk about creating your live stream videos is that it is pretty easy if you've sent, for those of you who've already been doing it. I know I got some what I call my reverse learners in the group, and those are people who are kind of leaning into this session, and then they're going to do the live stream because they're like, I need to know all about the good stuff, and then I'll start doing the stuff. So I get it as well. So Google makes it really easy, even when it comes to Facebook Live, because they make it really searchable. And so there's an assumption that you're probably going to be broadcasting a lot of times, maybe even from a small device like your smartphone, and then you can simply go in and use an application and do it all. So here's what I'm going to do for you all today. We're going to do a quick review with respect to the Facebook Live content, and then we're going to go right into today's first way of leveraging your content. So let's get started there. So, of course, when it comes to just going live inside of Facebook, it's fairly very easy. The first thing you're going to do, obviously, is you want to log into your app. And again, I tend to do both, working from a smart device like a smartphone or even a tablet. And in many instances, like I'm doing today, I'm working from my desktop. But so if you just whatever one you're most comfortable with, there is no right or wrong way, but you're simply able to open up your app, go inside of your timeline, your news feed itself, and then you're going to tap in there, and then you're able to simply create a piece of content, your post, and then simply be able to click the live button, and boom, you are in streaming land, as I like to call it. So it's not a hard thing to do. So if you've been apprehensive about going live, also know that you can go live and no one has to see you. So there's another great thing that you have an opportunity to do. And I'll put some of those tips in as well. So because in this particular session, it's based on the fact that you've already been doing the live streaming. But if you need some help in how to do it, I'll be more than happy to help you. In fact, inside of the Content Creation Tips and More Facebook group, I've got a cool checklist. Get you ready, 8 checks that'll help you to make sure that you have a very successful live streaming experience for your audience. Those of you, if you have Facebook groups, even better. So you have an opportunity to do that. So in fact, what I'm going to do here, let me see if it's going to let me plug in. I'm going to plug, I'll put in can I put in my link right now? I don't think I can. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to right now. Yeah, okay. So again, going live, simply click on your button, follow the instructions on the screen, and then you're just going to do a quick description, and then you hit the next button, and then you're going live inside of your Facebook group or on your Facebook business page. Now, this is the thing that's important. Obviously, you have a personal page and you have a business page. You can go live on both, just in case you didn't know. If you have a Facebook group, you can go live inside of your Facebook group as well. So there's nothing difficult with respect to creating the content if you haven't done so already. And then once you're inside of the tool is where you'll see something very similar to this, where you're able to, before you go live, you can have all these different components for setting up. You may specify the type of camera that you're using. Your microphones, you don't have to get anything really special. Like I said, if you're bringing it up on the app itself, then 9 times out of 10, your smartphones are so advanced nowadays, that's the only tool you need. You don't have to run out, by the way, and buy a bunch of stuff. So when it comes to equipment and going live and creating live content, it doesn't require, keep to the basics. And when you feel as though you could benefit from having more advanced tools and equipment, then you can go in. For instance, like the microphone that I have is a Yeti. It is a little bit, I do a lot of video training tutorials. So sound quality is really important. I do a lot of podcasting as a guest, as well as sometimes I'm facilitating interviews. And so sound quality is really important. Not to say that a regular cell phone mic works just fine, but for that enhancement, that also minimizes my need to have to edit more because I can get the sound quality down to a really good quality. So you have that. So this in and of itself is kind of your live producer mode where you're able to kind of set up. You'll notice that you'll have an opportunity to place a title for your event. This is also a good practice when you're creating video content inside of Facebook, is that for naming conventions and being able to find your files later in search and being able to share. So try to get into the habit of putting good descriptions in there. And you're also going to need this when we go inside of our first way today. Now, that being said, I talked about free. Now, there's the ability for you to go live straight from the Facebook app. Some of us, on the other hand, may want to have a little bit better control of the situation, and that's okay. So for instance, there are some advanced features and functions that you have out there. So if you prefer to have that control of recording options, then you may want to install what they have as what we call a kind of a open source application. And this one in particular is very popular, is OBS Studio. And here is where you're able to live stream software, and actually you're able to stream through things like Zoom interface and straight into Facebook, as well to YouTube. So you have some abilities to kind of have some more controls when it comes to your recording. So you have that. Now, me, on the other hand, I do know about OBS. I just don't subscribe to it personally, but I've got a lot of friends that do. And so again, it is a free version for that particular purpose. Now, that being said, there is an ability, and I'm going to put up a link to, I'm trying to see how I can make sure I can do this. I'll put up a link with respect to, there's a article that's from a good source. Some of you, if you are followers of Social Media Examiner, they put out some really good content as well. And so there's a how to use Facebook Live from your desktop without costly software. So I'm going to give you a shortcut to that momentarily when we take a quick break. Now, having said that, do know that one of the tools that you may not know, or I share about this inside of one of my prior challenges, is I do subscribe to StreamYard for my ability to control my recording options. And so StreamYard is my software of choice. It is a paid subscription function or feature that you can subscribe. It's like $20 a month, but I do a lot with it. So it's worth my investment. So you, again, inch by inch, it's a cinch, yard by yard, mighty hard. Take your time and figure out what works best for you. All righty. Now, before I go any further, let me see if I'm gonna do a stop share real quick. And let's go to our group. There we go. I'm gonna make sure we have any comments or questions in my message. Okay, good. Feel free to put any questions or comments that you may have right here inside of the group. No problems whatsoever. Now, that being said, let's tap into, okay, we're good. Okay, we'll plug back in. Sorry. Want to make sure. It's difficult when I don't even, unless you have two computers, you have a challenge with jumping in and out of your tool and then still being interactive, because it's just the way it is. All right, now let's plug back in and do my share here. And, oh, why don't I do this? Let me plug in a couple of quick links here. Hold on one second. Let me do that. Let me take you to this one article that I thought was really, really good. And I wanted to make sure you guys got a copy to this link. So again, for those of you who are looking for some resources and tools, I'm a techie, so I'm dangerous. Here's a great article that, just make sure that this is good. Okay, so here we go. So just post it inside of the chat. So this is a really good article. If you click on it, then bookmark it and save it for yourselves. But it's a really good article for those of you who want to kind of take it to another level with your video recording and your streaming, that there's some tools out there that you could utilize as well. And they do a really good job in breaking that down. So take advantage of the information. All right, so we've got that. And then last, let me just put in the other link for you, which is to try out and check out StreamYard. So let me plug that in there for you guys. There we go. Now, again, StreamYard is a paid subscription tool that helps to do live streaming. The great thing about when you're doing live streaming, and as much as you can do direct live streaming, like I just mentioned, and going right in from inside of Facebook, is you can control your outputs, meaning that you have an ability, if you like, to live stream to multiple platforms. And there's some great advantages to that. It's just a matter of, one, how comfortable you want to get. How important is it for you to do things like maybe scheduling and planning ahead of time? The fact that you have recordings and that you have the audio files as well as the video files, that you're able to do other enhancements like labels and banners and things along those lines. So it has great potential. And so there's other tools out there. I just happen to subscribe to StreamYard. And then that is a link that I'm sharing that happens to be an affiliate link. So I do get a little something if you happen to subscribe. So they do have kind of like a free version. I think at the very, sometimes they're always having offers. So do check them out. But that just happens to be the one that's really easy to use. And I think that's probably why I promote it so much, because it's an easy thing for you to secure and kind of get comfortable with it with with not a lot of difficulty with respect to that. All right, so let's do this. Let's go on, and I'm going to pop us back on in. And there we go. All righty, now you need to hide. All righty. So there's your preferences if you happen to have any, and you can, again, try out the OBS project software as well. Now, next thing is, so as you can see, there is really simple ways for you to jump into Facebook Live and start to produce your video content. Now, there's some really great benefits when it comes to how Facebook Live can help you as a business owner. And this is what's really important. One is, of course, you want to create a strong relationship with your followers. And the best way to do that is eyeballs and people being able to see you, because this is really a different platform than when, for those of you who have local businesses and you're able to reach out to your customers, or for instance, those of you who are service-based, like, I've got construction guys here in my house in case you happen to hear any noise. And we've got folks that are like, plumbers and bookkeepers and accountants and lawyers, and they're local. And so you have a different way of reaching out to your audience and connecting with your business potential customers and your current customers. But when you're thinking about it from an online perspective, which can transcend into your localities as well, is that it does allow you to have a stronger relationship with your audience when they know that they can see you. The other great thing is that you can have, attract other organic fans that are looking for good quality content. They're looking for people. And this is why it's important for you when you create your pages, that you also are having those good descriptors in your videos, because those things can be seen on your business page, not when you're in your Facebook groups. Those are private and they won't be seen as searchable, but your videos can be. So that's what's important about doing your live stream from your video, from your business pages or your personal pages themselves. So you do know that. And then, of course, being able to share your tips with your Facebook group members if you have a group. If you don't have a group, you don't have to have a group. You can still simply sharing information and adding value to your customers. So here's the thing. Doing live stream is not about selling every day. This is not an infomercial. That's not what the platform is intended for. You also have some guidelines. At the same time, want to be real careful about when it comes to selling on Facebook. They're really good about saying no. So be careful with respect to that. You're looking at this as the vehicle that's going to allow you to show your authenticity and make the connections that are necessary so that people can get to know, like, and trust you. And it's also a powerful way for you to get leads of people and take them into your website and then be able to, or maybe onto a landing page. So you have some opportunities, but letting this kind of be a vehicle and a lever. So it's not just a sales page. It's a vehicle to help you to make connections in as many different ways as possible, because you're depending on who your target audience is. If you don't have a good sense of who you're talking to, then no one is listening. Does that make sense? So you want to make sure that as much as you have something great to share and say, that it hits the right people's ear. So you want to be able that you're making the right connections with your intended audience. And then, of course, you're able to expand your community of followers, which is much quicker than what you could do traditionally in your local areas and using some of the other mass media options that may be out there. And most importantly, it's about credibility. The know, like, and trust factor is still a very strong component of any good business. And just because you build it doesn't mean they're going to come. You've got to do the heavy lifting. And in order for you to do that, people want to know that you're real and that what you have to offer and that you have a viable story that's going to make connections with them, that they're more apt to say, you're worth listening to, you're worth watching, and then you may be worth giving you my credit card. So those are the opportunities that you want to have for yourself. So being authentic and being not authority is what works most importantly and quickly as possible at the same time. Now, I want you to think about the fact that when it comes to Facebook, it's been around for quite some time. And over time, we've had an opportunity to take it from one intended purpose, which when it was first initiated, right, it was for students to pair up with photographs. It was almost like a dating service, like who's hot and who's not. And so now, of course, we've kind of really expanded. So there's people coming on side of the site all the time. In fact, let me give you some. Okay. And then the same thing happens when it comes to what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to get ready to take your first way of the 7 ways. And the first way that we're going to work through is Facebook, is taking your Facebook video is to YouTube. It's the quickest way to get in front of a whole new set of people. So your best way to do that is, hold on one second. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is introduce you to is one of your first ways is how can you take your video content and put it up on YouTube as your platform of choice. Now, why is the first question that you might not have even thought about it. But here's the thing about YouTube. YouTube has video content that is viewed an enormous amount of times. I can't even say the number. It's like in the billions, right? So if that many views a month, according to Social Blade. So what Social Blade does, and I'm going to show you their page. It looks like this, but I'm actually going to pull it up and show you it live in a minute. What Social Blade does is that it has an ability to tell you, kind of like it spotlights YouTube. It tells you all of the number of viewers and how many people are watching the videos and all of that. So you have an opportunity to really see that there's value in making sure that your content can be a part of that library of people because they're going out there every day. Now, the thing too about YouTube is a search engine, right? People go there to find information as well as to be entertained. And so which of the two is your video content going to be landing on? So as you think about your past video content, which two zones do you feel that they most occupy? Are they occupying the entertainment lane or are they occupying the how-to lane? Think about that. Because when we get into setting this up for yourselves, that's going to be one of the most important pieces for today is where is it going to land? Now, as we think about putting your content up on YouTube, one of the things you want to think about is you're going to want to be able to kind of get down to the bare bones about what is this video about. So you're going to strip down to those kind of keywords to that are like absolutely essential. And the reason for that, again, it's a search engine. So as many times you can be as specific as possible with your keywords so that you can narrow down in your search queue, the better it's going to be for your content to come up to the top and be recognizable. So you can strip away all those kind of weak words. So for those of you who are bloggers out there, you know what I'm talking about. It's about getting down to the bare bones. You want to be as searchable as possible. I want you to kind of almost put yourself in the researcher, your customer, your target audience themselves into their minds. What are they searching for? So as an example, there is, for instance, if you were to type in the word puppies and you were doing a search engine for puppies and how they howl when they are first born, and you want to be able to just type in those particular keywords as you see it here, and then you'll be able, the more specific you are in narrowing it down, there's only a certain number of videos that are going to be showing up with those specific keywords that's going to narrow it down. So you want to be just as specific when it comes to the live video content that you have when you're posting it up inside of YouTube and you're putting those descriptors in, that you can be as narrow as you can in order for you to rise up to the top as far as one of the key results. So as you can see, if we typed in the words puppy and howl, and then you can kind of see that if for the first time as a phrase, right? So those are what we call like a long tail phrase. And then there's just key phrases or keywords. And so that way you're going to be able to come up quicker. So these are the kind of, I don't want to call them tricks of the trade, but these are the key tips that are going to help you to find the content that you're looking for, what people are looking for, so that your content can show up quicker. Does that make sense? I hope so. All righty. Looking for, I think I got it. Okay, let me. And then the other thing, remember, we talked about entertainment. And so again, are you into the how-to? Are you instant entertainment? And so there's an example of this I'm going to pull up on the website, but this is just an example of how a BuzzFeed did, it was, I don't want to call it kind of like a skit, but they did this kind of like the blender with the, like how many things can you put into a blender and chop up, like the Vegematic thing, what can it chop up? And every time they made a video, first it was a fish, then it was a watch, and then they kept breaking things up to see how far it could go. And it was kind of along the same way. So what they did over at BuzzFeed was they were doing something of entertainment value, right? It was so that they could go viral in a essential way. And people were like, well, this is really interesting. So what they did is they had a watermelon. And like, who thinks of these things? I have no idea. So you have a watermelon. How many rubber bands does it take in order for it to burst? And so they kept adding the rubber band around the watermelon. And they kept adding one and adding one and adding one. And people kept watching the video to see, well, how many times this is kind of like, if you remember the Tootsie Pop, how many licks does it take to get to the middle of a Tootsie Pop? It was like the same thing. So they were building this momentum and they kept adding and adding. And as you can see in this particular picture, they covered themselves because at some point in time, that watermelon was going to break. So that was a form of entertainment. So how are you categorizing your video content that you currently have? Is it how-tos or is it entertainment? Most people looking for one or the other when they're on YouTube. Think about yourself and how you use YouTube yourself. So how is your content of your live feed going to resonate with the people who you want to connect with? All right, let's stop, do a quick pause. And I'm going to come back in, see how we're doing. All right. Okay, any questions on what we've covered so far before we get down to the berry and how-tos? Because I'm going to get ready in the demo mode. All righty. I think we're good. All right, so we're good there. All right, so I'm going to go back to there we go. All right. So now what I'm getting ready to do is take you through the steps on how to create your YouTube uploads and on all the necessary steps to take you so that you can now leverage your first piece of content. And the first way is taking your video content and over to YouTube. So I'm going to be sharing my screen, but let me just do this one other thing here. There we go. So we're going to take you through the steps of downloading your Facebook, logging into YouTube. If you don't have a channel, it's really quick to create. Find the file that you want to be able to upload. Go through your privacy settings, create your title, your description, and your tag, and then choosing a thumbnail, which is important, and then how you'll see your video page. And it's a quick seven quick steps. They're not very difficult, easy to do. And then you can get even more fancier, but just know that that's what I'm going to be demoing with you today is how your first way is going to be posting up on YouTube. Alrighty, so let's go into share screen mode. So I'm going to end this and take us back. All right. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to actually take you over to my Facebook page where I actually have my content sitting. Now, I actually do, as I'm doing this, I actually have a Facebook page and I have Facebook groups. And so you have to decide. Oh, let me do it a different way too. You have to decide for your groups. Make sure I do this way. I jumped out. Hopefully it'll be showing in my, sorry guys. Is that showing? There we go. So you can do, again, live feed from your Facebook page as well as from your Facebook group. Just know that if you're recording directly from inside your Facebook group, no one else can see it. So for the purposes of today, and in most cases, you should be streaming straight from your Facebook business page. All right, because that's what it's all about. You can also put that content inside of your groups if you have them afterwards, or in the case of StreamYard, you're able to I can stream into multiple platforms or multiple groups at the same time. So that's one of the benefits of investing in software such as that. So just know that those are some of the options that you have. I'm just showing it. There we go. So here happens to be one of my videos. So what you're going to do is you're going to select your first video from off of your YouTube video library. So in this case, I happen to be inside of my group, and I'm going to also pull it the other way as well. I'm going to go to my page. So this is my Keep It Simple Coach page. And if you have video there, you can go straight down to where you see where it says videos. And you're going to open that up. And here is all of your past videos that you may have used, right? And you simply will take the video that you see here, and you can simply do a download. But I'm going to open this up first. So you click on it. And once you're open and you're in this particular screen, you're going to take your cursor over here where you see the 3 ellipse button, click on it. And there you have an opportunity. Oh, why won't my download button show? Oh, I know why. Because it's because of who I am. Oh, sorry guys. Oops. Try a different one. Hold on one second. There we go. Oh, all of a sudden now all of my download buttons don't work. That is so crazy. I wonder what happened. You would typically have, for the sake of today, a download link to download your video. One of the things that you more than likely happens is also that your settings, which you'll notice here at the bottom of your control panel for your videos, is that if you click here where it says settings, you want to make sure that the quality is going to be at its highest, which is 720. Okay, so make sure that your settings, you want to be at least either automatic in this case, or set it to 720. You want a good quality video to download from itself. So do that. And for some reason, mine won't let me download. I can transfer and I can delete, but now I can't transfer. It was there just a minute ago. So you'll choose your option to do your download and save it to your computer. Once you've done that part, I'm going to pull out of here. Oops. Then you'll save it to your computer, and then you're going to go into YouTube. So here's the deal about YouTube. YouTube is just an extension of your Google account. If you don't have a Google account, a Google email, then you can simply create one without very much. I'm not going to walk you through doing it, but if you already have one, then you simply can use the menu bar that you have by having a Google account. I'm going to change over here my screen. Hold on one second, because I think I have to switch out my screen here. Hold on one sec. There we go. All right, so I'm going to show you. So what will happen is after you've downloaded your video and you save it to your computer, then you're going to open up your Google account. And in most cases, so I'm going to share my screen again. I'm just going to do my entire screen because it makes it a little easier today. There we go. All right. So what will happen is when you have a Google, remember YouTube is a part of Google, in case anybody didn't know this, because you're listening, but YouTube is a Google product. So when you open up and have a Google account, like I have here, I happen to have two. So here happens to be mine. And so you can click on the app menu, which is the little checker box that you see here. And when you click on it, you're going to see that you have access to all the apps like the Google Docs and the Google Spreadsheet, and you'll see one there for YouTube. So you already have the ability to do a direct upload once you have your YouTube account, your Google account established. And then you could just open up YouTube and it's going to open up to your account for YouTube. So if we go ahead and open it up. And then once you're inside, you can simply add video. So here I have there's a button right here that's called Create. And all you have to do at this point is click on the button for Create, and you want to go to Upload Video. And so that same video that you just saved, you're going to simply click on it. I saved mine a little earlier, thankfully. And I'm going to find it on my desktop, so you can select your file. And mine's, I just dropped it on my desktop just to be quick. So here's my video, and I can open it up. And then it's going to take the time to upload. Okay, so while it's uploading, you could do a couple other things. The first thing is you want to take care of is your title. What is the descriptor that's best going to connect and also be searchable for those who are looking for the information that you're talking about on that particular live stream? Now, so you want to be able to say like how to maximize Facebook live stream video. Now, keywords, video, Facebook, maximize. Okay. Then you can even put in a little descriptor of what is this video, what are viewers that you're going to be talking about. So you can be as descriptive as you want to, again, incorporating some keywords that people are going to resonate with as well. So if I take it, in my case, I could take the descriptor that I did for this event and I can pop it in there. And you can simply do that. Now, the other thing that you will notice is that as it's starting to load, there it is. It's already populated because it's fairly short video. The longer the video, the more time it takes to upload, people, just so you know. All right, so here's that. So it's already up here. The next thing you want to do is you put in your description however you see fit. Be as descriptive as possible, because people like to scroll, and if they're looking for things, they'll look inside of the description. If it resonates with them, they're actually going to play the video and beyond the eye-catching headline, but they may want to dig a little deeper for more of my cranial people out there. Then you have a choice. You can choose your thumbnail. A thumbnail means what people will see when they when your video comes up on the list of results, what image do you want them to see? Do you want to take a image from the video of you speaking, or if you happen to be demoing something and you want that to be the image, you could simply scroll through and look for a video that you can pull from the actual content itself. Or like what I typically do, it's like, here's the case. These are the ones that happen to be pulled. They'll just do some examples for you. Otherwise, what you have the ability to do is to create a thumbnail. And when you do that, which I use Canva for, and you can simply type in Canva, there's a template for YouTube thumbnails. And you can create a cute cover that you have. I have some examples I'll show you that are in here from my other videos I typically have, because I do my Biz Tip Tuesdays and other events. And I typically like to have nice detailed thumbnails that will help people to really see what the video is about, and then a little bit more cute rather than just what you see right here. So you're able to do an uploading of an image file and populate it there. Then you want to be able to say, do you have a playlist that you want this to go in? You have the ability of organizing your videos if you want to, so you can go to any length that you choose. And then here again, you want to be able to talk about who this intended audience is for. If this is not made for kids, which most likely it's not, then you simply want to say, no, it's not made for kids. Not to say that it's inappropriate. It's just that that's not the intended audience. And that way it does its own screening videos for kids. So just to always answer the question. And then you can simply hit the next button. And then if you have subtitles or you want to add some ends, you can do a lot of enhancement features and functions that you can toy with if you want to. I'm not going to spend the time today to do that because I want to keep within our time. But just know that you can go as deep as you like when it comes to it. But most important is the title, the description, and you having a nice thumbnail, because you want people to find you, and what they find and when they land on you needs to be appealing. So that's the most important thing, in addition to the content itself. And then if there's a copyright, you also will check that off if there's any issues with respect to that. Typically, because it's yours, you shouldn't have a problem with it, right? Okay, so then next you hit that. And then it's about your visibility. Well, you want other people to find you, right? Well, if that's the case, then you need to set it to public. Everybody can watch the video. And then you're good to go. You have an ability here if you want to set it as an instant premiere, which is kind of like having like a debut video. If you want to go through all those channels, you can, but you don't have to. So just know that, because otherwise you will schedule when this video would be going public. If you wanted to go immediately, it would just do that when you hit publish. If you wanted to not go into a certain date and time, then you can set that as well. So you have some options with respect to that. So again, just gives you a quickie about the kids and overall content guidance in case you want to make sure. Remember, this should not be about selling as much as, you can direct them to other pages, and you can put some information inside of your description page as well. So just know you have that ability. But this is, again, how are you leveraging one piece of content that you're going to be able to take in 7 different directions? And way number 1 today is YouTube. So once you're done with this, you'll simply hit your publish. And then it's published, and now you have a video link. So here's the deal. Now that you've published it on YouTube, now you can use these other platforms to share that link and tell other people in other platforms and other audiences about what you have, because maybe not everybody saw the video live that you did inside of Facebook, but they might be hanging out on Twitter, some of your other followers and your other customers. So you can share it inside of that, but simply clicking on it. So when you click on these share links, the great thing about it is it takes you and opens up inside of the YouTube channel itself. And then you're able to say how it gives you the title and a simple link and where to go. And then if you want to embellish it and add some more information to it, great, you can do that as well. And then once you're done, you hit the tweet and it pushes it out there. I always like to add my hashtags and other things, but just know that that's the function that it has. So you can take advantage for that, putting it into your LinkedIn account. For those, you should all have a business account with LinkedIn. In addition to your personal, have a business page in LinkedIn. If you don't, talk to me later. I'll help you figure that out. You can, if you have a group of people or your business people and they're following you, and you have a phone list, then you can send it to them in WhatsApp. If you are a pinner and you have followers there, you want to be able to get, again, Pinterest is a search engine. That too is another opportunity for more eyeballs. You can share it there. You can simply even just email it to your customers and creating a link, which is what this is for as well. So you can simply copy the link to the YouTube channel and you can share it out in as many different forms as you please. Now that the video is there, I happen to have a channel, so that's where it went in this particular account. And so you'll have your YouTube page. So now if I wanted to, you're going to have an ability to look at the page, pull it up. This is the same channel. And because you're an administrator, as I am, for your account, it's going to look a little different than if you were just watching it as somebody scrolling through. So you have that as an opportunity to go in here and make edits and changes. But this is what the YouTube video page would look like with all the details that are there. Then you're able to check all of the analytics. You can even built-in editor is here. So for those of you who want to, you don't have to, but you can go in deeper and create and do some trims and some cuts and things along those lines. And that's what the editor here will allow you to do. So do know that you have that feature function without having use a video editing software. You don't have to do that. You can get some cool basics like trimming and other features and titles and things like that you can incorporate simply using the editor built into the YouTube channel itself. So do know that you have that available to yourself. And if you need to make any changes or edits, you can do so right here. And that, my friends, is how you can leverage your first way of your existing Facebook live stream video content. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. Come on back. All right, so this was day one of leveraging your Facebook Live video content. I hope you found this to be helpful. And tomorrow will be, not tomorrow, but the next session is we'll go into way number 2. If you have any questions, let me just double check here. All right, we're good, Samantha. Okay, great. Thank you, guys. All right. So I would like to keep to the time, as I always try to do. So this is what I want you to do. Your challenge today, now that you know what you know, is you can watch this again. It'll be up in a recorded session. You'll get a link in a follow-up email shortly. And I want you to practice. I want you to take a video content you already have and simply get it up on YouTube and see what happens and make this part of a habit. Now, if you're not going to do it, maybe it's time to start getting your VA to start doing it or somebody on your staff, depending on how you roll. But this is how, again, start thinking about what's YouTube worthy, but everything you do should be worthy. You should be going in with video content that has a plan. And I talk about that in the checklist. So you'll find that for those of you who are new to the group, you go into the content creation tips and more group. And inside there, you're going to find lots of goodies. Well, one in particular is about doing Facebook Live. There's a cool checklist that's going to help you go through all of the setups, and that's what you want to be able to do. So do find that tool and help you with that, along with some other goodies that are inside the group itself. And if you have any questions or concerns, you can also post them there inside of the group. But until next time, we'll be meeting right back here, and I'll be able to address your needs and your questions. For those of you who have gotten the bundle, okay, yeah. So for those of you who have gotten the bundle, if you did not get an automatic email just yet, fret not. We're working on it. Seems to be a little bit of a glitch somewhere. So you'll be seeing that in your inbox sometime. Okay. Yeah, we're working through it. There's a glitch in our automation. So anyway, just wanted to acknowledge that. So for those of you who did get the bundle, it's heading your way. So you'll have that at your disposal very soon. So until later, this is Dr. Yam, your Keep It Simple coach. Again, this is 7 ways to leverage your Facebook Live video content, and I look forward to supporting you and seeing you in the next session. Until next time, let's get busy. Have a good one. Bye-bye.